This is page 84 in your textbooks, lesson 2.2, subtracting rational numbers. Our rule for subtracting rational numbers is we're going to follow what we call LCO. Leave, change, opposite. So we're going to change all of these subtraction problems into addition problems to make it simpler to find these sums, in this case differences with subtraction. So what we're saying is that 10 minus 2, as it has always been, is 8. We're saying then that 10 plus what will also give us 8? Well, that would be negative 2. So we're saying that subtracting 2 is the same thing as adding negative 2. Okay? And once you have done that, then you're just going to follow your rules for adding integers. Okay, so we have 7 minus 18 in number 1 there. So we're going to leave the 7 alone. We're going to change to addition, and we're going to make the next number its opposite. So 18 becomes negative 18. From there, we follow our rules for adding integers. So you have positive and a negative. So anytime you're adding different signs, you find the difference of their absolute values. 18 minus 7 is 11. And then we need to figure out if it's positive or negative 11. And it's negative because we have more negatives. You have negative 18 and positive 7, and negative 18 is farther from 0 than positive 7. So remember, positives and negatives cancel each other out. And so 7 positives would cancel 7 of your negatives, leaving you with 11 negatives left over. Okay? If you want to try number 3, go ahead and try that, and then hit pause, try it, see what the answer is, and hit play once you're done with getting the answer. Okay, we leave 53 alone, we change to addition, and we make the next number its opposite. And again, we have different signs, so we subtract their absolute values. 109 minus the 53, subtract their absolute values, and you get 56. And then you look at your numbers. These are your positives. These are your negatives. And we clearly have more negatives. Therefore, our answer is negative 56. Number 5, go ahead and try number 5. If you want, hit pause, try number 5. When you get your answer, hit play and compare your answer to my answer. So number 5, we leave negative 7 alone, we change subtraction to addition, and we make negative 5 its opposite, which is positive 5. So our new problem is negative 7 plus 5. Again, they have different signs, so we find the difference of their absolute values. Remember, absolute value is always positive, just means how far is that number from 0. Negative 7 is 7 away, positive 5 is 5 away. So we just want to know the difference of their absolute values, which is 2. And then we look at it, and we clearly have more negatives than we do positives. We have 7 negatives and only 5 positives. Therefore, our answer is negative 2. Again, if you want to try number 7, hit pause, give it a shot, then hit play when you have your answer and compare it to mine. All right, on 7, we do leave, change, opposite. We leave negative 6 alone, change subtraction to addition, and make 8 its opposite. And then we do that first step. Now they have the same signs. 6 negatives plus 8 negatives would give us 14 negatives. And then we need to subtract 12 still. So we have a new subtraction problem, which we do leave, change, opposite again. So we leave negative 14 alone. We change subtraction to addition. 12 becomes negative 12. Same signs once again, 14 negatives plus 12 negatives. So we add those together and we get 26, and they're both negative, so negative 26. If you have 14 negatives and I add 12 more negatives, that's going to give you 26 negatives. Okay? Go ahead and try number 9 there. Number 9. Okay, we do leave, change, opposite. So we have negative 8 plus positive 4. That is different signs. So 8 minus 4 would give us 4. and there are more negatives than positives. 8 negatives, 4 positives, so that's going to be -4 minus 5. Another subtraction problem, so we do leave, change, opposite again. Leave, change, opposite. Now we have same signs, 4 negatives plus 5 negatives. So when they have the same signs, we add them together and get 9, and they're both negative, so -9. 4 negatives plus 5 negatives would give us 9 negatives. All right, now let's look at 13, 15, and 17. Here it's a little different. They're asking us to evaluate the distance between each pair of integers. Okay, so if we look at a number line here, and here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so there's our number line. So we go to 4, positive 4 on the number line would be right here. And then the positive 20 would be right here. So we want to know the distance between 4 and 20. So you can count all of those, or we know if we just do the 20 minus the 4, we get 16. So our answer number 13 is 16. The distance between those two numbers is 16 units. Now, if we look at the number line here, and I'm not going to draw in all of the numbers here, but there is 0. There's -15 would be to the left of 0. Positive 36 would be to the right of the 0. So they're asking you to evaluate the distance between each pair of integers. So we want to know how far apart are -15 and positive 36. Well, -15 to 0 would be 15 units. 0 to 36 would be 36 units. So the total distance between 15 and 36 would be 51. So the answer to number 15 is they are 51 units apart, if that makes sense there. Okay? You want to know the total distance apart, so I do that number line in there to help you visualize that. Last one there, if we look at 17, draw the number line there for 17. -28 would be here, -3 would be there, and 0 right in that way. So we're just looking at distance between those two numbers, and that would be 25 units apart. Okay, notice that we're not putting that it's -25, and up here on 51 we didn't put -51. Just wants to know how far apart are they. So we would just have a positive answer there. -28 and -3 are 25 units apart. Okay, that's it for our notes on subtracting integers. Bring those into class tomorrow.